I have been missing in action for a few days, as you know, because I have been sick. I've had bronchitis, which is really bizarre because I'm not an asthmatic or anything. Um, just got struck down, kind of weird. Doctor thinks it's something to do with the smoke in the air. I don't know. I think it was just the universe telling me to sit still for a bit. So I did. Anyway, Noah tells me that I need soup because probably that's what I tell him when he's sick. So I'm going to make some. I'm going to make some stock, not some soup, which is basically the base of a soup, right? And I could just have this as a soup if I just took a bit more care with my vegetables and just chop them up nicely and dice them. But I'm going to make this as a stock because I like to have stock in the freezer. What I do is I make a big pot, and then once it's and then I strain it so it's got no bits in it. And then what I do is I pour it into Ziploc bags, medium-sized Ziploc bags, and lie them flat in the freezer. And then when I need stock, I just take a zippy bag out and use the stock. And it doesn't take up a lot of room because you know the containers, they take over the world. But Ziploc bags lie nice and flat, which is kind of cool. So I'm going to make chicken stock. I like to use chicken wings or chicken necks. I couldn't get chicken necks today, and actually I do prefer chicken wings, but chicken necks are a little cheaper. So chicken wings, because they have lots of lovely natural gelatin in them that comes out of the bones, and they're quite fibrous, lots of muscle and things like that. So when it boils down, it kind of leaches out into the stock, and it makes it even more delicious. So I've got about a kilo of chicken wings, and they're just whole. I didn't cut them up or anything, just left them whole. And then all I've got is a couple of sticks of celery. Now I always use the leaves of celery when I'm making stock. I sort of cut the top bit off the celery to make it a bit shorter because then it fits in my fridge a bit easier. But the leaves from the celery are really beautiful. They've got a really intense celery flavour. Which is delicious, so don't waste them, throw them in your stock. I've got carrots, four baby carrots actually. So, and really, no matter how many you put in here, the more vegetables, the more nutrients, so you know, don't worry too much. And the carrots just add a lovely sweetness. They're not peeled or anything. The only thing I did do was I took the end piece off because Harold likes to eat them. And they're a bit of a special treat for him. But if I didn't have Harold, they would also be in the pot. Onions, 2 onions, and I've just quartered them up because I'm going to strain it and take it out anyway. And I've got 3 cloves of garlic. I'm making this fairly neutral. I'm not putting anything strong in flavour in it, so no more than that for garlic because I just want a little hint of it. Don't want it to be overpowering. I want it to be a fairly neutral stock, so then I can build on it. So I could turn this into like an Italian style risotto, or by just adding maybe some basil and some parmesan cheese at the end of the risotto. Or I could turn it into a Asian style soup and add some ginger and some noodles and some bok choy and some chicken, those kinds of things. So this kind of lends itself to go anywhere you want it to go. It's a really good base. So every good stock needs some salt. So, you know, don't get too stupid with the salt because you want to be able to use this for whatever it is that you want to do. But I like to put a little bit of salt in it because it needs to have a little bit of flavour. But don't go crazy with the salt, which is unlike me to say, I know. Now the next thing I just put in is apple cider vinegar. I always buy one that's got the mother in it, and that's the little cloudy bits on the bottom. And that's got all the nice good bacteria in it, that vinegar. It's the good part of the vinegar, the good bit for your tummy. I have read, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a naturopath, I'm just a cook, that apple cider vinegar will help withdraw the nutrients out of the bones and get it into the stock. And the other thing is, even if it doesn't do that, which I believe it does, but if it doesn't do that, it actually just makes it taste really good. So I would probably just put a good glug. That was probably 2 tablespoons. in this pot. So now all I'm going to do in this pot is I'm going to fill it up with water, cold water out of the tap. I'm going to pop it on the stove. I'm going to bring it up to the boil on high, so as quickly as possible. Get it to boiling point. Then I'm going to just put it on simmer with the lid on, and look, I'm probably going to leave it there for a good 2 or 3 hours, just on really low. Just let it bubble and bubble away. Every now and again, I'm going to come along and just top the water up a little bit as it evaporates. And then once I've done that, all I'm going to do is let it cool down a little bit so I don't scald myself. Get a colander and pour this through the colander and strain it so you've got all the beautiful bits of clear liquid underneath. And then I'm going to freeze it. Too easy. What you'll find too is the longer you cook this for, the more of that beautiful gelatin you will get out of the bones. Sorry, excuse me for puffing on. Don't have much lung capacity at the moment, sorry. Slow down, Steph. So the longer you leave it, the more you draw out of those, the beautiful gelatin out of the bones. And what you'll find is once it's cooled, the stock is cooled, you'll see it'll go a bit like jelly. It'll go really gelatinous, and that's a sign that your stock is really, really good. It's got lots of good stuff in it and very delicious. So yeah, so that's stock, super easy. Give it a go. That is heaps cheaper than buying a litre of the stock, and I can tell you, 1,000 times tastier.